I just was tired of like having to cut out, the top half of my face. I feel like it's time, like now that my channel is starting to grow a little bit more, it's time to put a face to the channel. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little scared to do a face reveal just because I've always been kind of like afraid to put myself out there, and I'm afraid of how people would perceive me. But I'm taking this opportunity and using this channel as like a way to force myself to put myself out there more, and stop being so afraid. Because wait, like I'm having a brain fart. But yeah, just trying to stop being so afraid, because being afraid and being like shy and too shy to put yourself out there is exactly what stops you from receiving your blessings and from receiving opportunities that you could have had, if you put yourself out there. So here I am, guys. It's me. And we are back here today with another Love Island ramble video. I already know I am so late when it comes to Love Island. I started watching the series late, and now I'm so many episodes behind. I have been watching the show, and I've been taking some notes. I'm not gonna lie, for some episodes I haven't been taking any notes. For some, I just felt like it wasn't nothing to say. There wasn't anything different to say compared to the previous episode. But I have a couple notes. This video may or may not be a little long because we're going all the way from episode 8 to episode 15. Okay, so I have quite a few things to say. So per usual, I'm going nails. Listen, okay, I'm trying to take my prom nails off, okay, and they're just not coming off. So give me grace, and also comment down below any tips you may or may not have, because I do not know how to, like, I'm trying so hard and it just hurts. Okay, but per usual, I'm gonna be reading off of my notes app, and then I'm gonna talk. So first, episode 8. Okay, so right now I feel really bad for Beatrice because she really likes Gabriel, and I feel like Gabriel was just being his promiscuous self, and he just kissed both of the new bombshells. But overall, I'm really happy with the way that Beatrice handled the situation. I feel like I just love how she allowed herself to get more vulnerable without punishing herself for it, because we all know that Beatrice did struggle with like expressing her emotions and stuff like that. And overall, I'm happy with the way that she's handling everything. Like, she's allowing herself to form a connection with Gabriel without punishing herself for anything bad that may happen, And yeah, I also said I just don't want her to feel stupid for putting herself out there, because I think that being vulnerable with someone that you like is one of the strongest things that you can do, which is true. People like to make it seem like hiding your feelings is strong, but let me tell you something. The weakest people are the ones that suppress their emotions, and they're weak because they suppress their emotions due to the fact that they don't know how to handle them. The strongest people are the ones who allow themselves to be emotional and allow themselves to be in tune and vulnerable, because it just allows growth. It allows you to get it out, and knowing how you feel is important. A lot of people aren't good with regulating their emotions, and having that aspect makes them feel like they're just so strong, and baby, you're just not. So yeah, I feel like I recovered this episode. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what episode I did last time, but it's okay. Okay, so I said these new bombshells are definitely shaking up the villa, of course. And I said overall in the beginning of this episode, I just feel really bad for all of the girls, because they all, like, the way they feel, they just felt stupid with the way that the new bombshells came in and how everybody was acting. I think that the girls just felt really stupid, and I don't like that they felt that way. It just makes me feel bad for them. Okay, next, Melanie and Sincere, of course. So Melanie just asked Sincere is lie and manipulate and try to play this good guy role when he is anything but that. He's anything but sincere, okay? So I said we all know that he's lying. The way that he talks about Soul, there's no way that he still doesn't want to explore her. And I feel like he's lying to cover the truth from Melanie, but it's really getting to a point. And yeah, I just think that Sincere, I don't really understand him. Like, he just kept lying to Melanie over and over again. This is Love Island. If you want to explore Soul, then go explore Soul, but stop trying to make it seem like that's not what you're doing. I feel like Sincere just tries to tell Melanie what she wants to hear, but then he does the complete opposite, and I don't like that. Like, it really triggers something in me. So here I wrote, Sincere is irritating me. I feel like he's not being completely honest with Melanie about how he feels about Soul. The way he talks about Soul, the way he looks at her is so detrimental to the connection. And that is one thing I noticed. I feel like when Soul first came to the villa and like her and Sincere would talk, I feel like the way that Sincere would look at Soul, the way that he would interact with her in comparison to Melanie was very different. Like, there was this one specific scene where they were talking because, you know, Melanie was obviously intimidated by whatever it is that Sincere and Soul had, and Sincere was trying to console her or whatever. And when they kissed, it's like the face that Sincere made when they were hugging, it was scary, because it was like, wow, like, do you not like this girl because you just kissed her, you're hugging her, why are you making that face after that? So yeah, I also made a comment and said, like, if my boyfriend looked at a girl the same way that Sincere looked at Soul, I would lose my marbles. Because there's no way you're trying to sit here and tell me that you don't want this girl, you don't want to build a connection with this girl, but then have the audacity to be looking at her how you look at her. What's that about? So next I said, Melanie just pulled Corbin for a chat. And first, I just want to say that whatever accent Corbin is trying to hide in the depths of his throat, he needs to release it, okay? Stop trying to fight the accent, Corbin, okay? Because I don't know if you guys can hear it. Corbin has an accent. I think it's Jamaican, but he's trying to hide it. Like, the way he talks, he doesn't talk like a normal person. He talks like a Jamaican person who's trying to pretend like he's not Jamaican, okay? Corbin, release the accent, okay? Whatever production told you, don't listen to them. You can speak how you need to speak. Be free. Our people are free. Oh my god. So yeah, I also mentioned how Corbin is very easy because he's always asking these girls for a kiss. Like, babe, what's that about? And I also mentioned how I'm not really like the biggest fan of Corbin. I feel like, to me, Corbin is like a bag of rocks. Like, he's just like there. That's so mean because he's a real person. Corbin, we love you, you're cute, but I don't know, I feel like it's giving bag of rocks. Okay, so another thing I said was that, and keep in mind this is episode 8, I've heard some things but I haven't gotten there yet. Anaya and Casey are good right now. I know Casey is evil, but I can't prove it yet, okay? I'm gonna leave it there because I know he's evil, I just cannot prove it yet. Sorry guys. Okay, alright, so, guys, another person that I don't like, my top 2 dislikes, Kenzie and Sincere. I do not like Kenzie, and if you've been watching this series, you know I haven't liked Kenzie from like the very beginning. Something about Kenzie rubs me the wrong way, and not to get political with it, but all my people know, if you see like some of the like little remarks that she be trying to make, or like when she clings to certain people versus others, it's like, I see you, Kenzie, and I don't like it. So I wrote so what I didn't like is that Kenzie obviously was playing around with Caleb. We all know that she really wanted Corbin, but she was because I don't like Kenzie's reaction. And I often feel like, sorry, I often feel like when Kenzie does something, it's fine. It's Love Island. When someone else does something, Kenzie always villainizes it, and I think that's really weird. Because how is it that you get to kiss Caleb and be touchy with Caleb and do this, that, and the third with Caleb, but when Corbin asks Melanie for a kiss, all of a sudden it's a problem? I think that's weird. Because you're not the only person that can do things. Like, I think that's weird. And it's also like she had a problem with Corbin giving some of his attention to Melanie, like in the recoupling. Because I'm sorry if that was a spoiler, but yeah, they did have a recoupling and she had a problem with it. But I'm like, but when you was over there playing around with Caleb, everything is fine. But when I want to play around with Melanie, all of a sudden it's a problem. Like, I think that's weird. Kenzie is weird, and she has this weird like complex where she just thinks that she always has to be chosen, and I think that's weird because it's just not true. Like, so yeah. And not to mention, I also didn't like the comment that Kenzie made about Melanie pursuing Corbin because her man is being took by Soul, and she wasn't lying, but I think that it was when she made the comment, it was coming out of a very rude and emotional place, and I don't like that. You need to have some more self-control. If you claim that Melanie is your friend, you would never say anything about her like that, especially if she's not in the room to defend herself. I think that's strange, and I would never say anything like that unless my friend was right in front of me and I was talking to her. So yeah, all of this is just more about how I don't like Kenzie. Another thing I noticed about Kenzie is that when she feels rejected, she starts to lose her mind, and literally we saw it with Zach, we saw it, and now we're seeing it with Corbin. And truth be told, I feel like we're gonna see it with Caleb too, even though Caleb is already starting to fall back because he can tell that Kenzie does not really like him. It's like any ounce of rejection, it's gonna be an issue for her. Okay. So episode 9, oh my god guys, it's so much. Okay. Episode 9. So Sincere just pulled Melanie for a chat and he keeps lying. And one thing, oh my god, so this is the first lie I peeped from him. He just said that he's not gonna kiss Soul anymore. But okay, yeah, he said that he wasn't gonna kiss Soul anymore, and that was a lie. Because I remember the first time him and Soul had kissed, he lied about who initiated the kiss, and he was like, when Melanie asked, he was like, oh yeah, Soul initiated it. But I'm like, babe, it's on national TV. You initiated that kiss. So not only are you a kisser, kiss and tell, but you're also a liar. You're also a liar. And he in the beginning he kept lying about the fact that, oh, he was like, oh, me and Soul don't have a connection, this, that, and the third. But I'm like, you're literally lying, and I do not like Sincere at all. Okay. And yeah, like, I feel like, okay, here's one I'll read. Overall, Sincere's actions prove that he wants, sorry, okay, his words have no value because everything he does, like the way that he looks at Soul, the way that he talks to Soul, the way that he kisses her, it's like his actions are proving that he wanted to talk to Soul, proving that he had a connection with Soul, but unfortunately he lied about it, and I don't really understand why. And I really feel like Melanie, like, Sincere is just playing in your face, girl. And I'm not gonna lie, I love Melanie, but after a while I'm starting to really dislike her and her homegirls because I feel like no one's being honest with her, no one's being upfront with her. Everyone's just accepting the fact that Sincere is a liar, and they don't even know the half of it. But everyone's just accepting the fact that Sincere is a liar, and I really don't like that because why are we accepting this? Like, no, baby, this is Love Island, okay? You can find love elsewhere. Okay. tell you, like, I could just tell what Kata and Zach have is really like cute. It's really beautiful, and I don't think she's gonna leave that for Bryce. No offense to Bryce, but it's just like, if Kata wanted you, she would have picked you in the very beginning, and she didn't. So yeah. And I said, I think Bryce is kind of desperate to try and look for any other possible connection that might be out there, because I don't know, he didn't really get the opportunity to explore outside of Trinity. And I do love him in Trinity, but I just, like, yeah, like, there was nothing there. And also, I know boys are different, but I also thought it was weird how out of all the women he wanted to do something with Kata, which is Zach's girl. But like I said, boys are different. Like, two homegirls, they would be fighting over that, but I guess their bromance means more than anything. Okay, the next thing I had said was, I really am not a big fan of Kenzie because she did something with Corbin similar to how she did Zach. She tried to make it seem like Zach lied to her, and Zach did nothing to her, okay? Because I don't know if you remember in the beginning, Zach was not really attracted to Kenzie, and Kenzie was trying to make it seem like Zach was evil, like he lied to her about something and this, that, and the third. And the reality is that Zach made it clear that Kenzie wasn't her type. Kenzie still picked him anyways and then got her feelings hurt. It's okay to have your feelings hurt, but stop trying to make it seem like this man did something to you when he really didn't. So I feel like she's doing the same thing with Corbin. She mentioned how she doesn't like the lying and stuff. Like, I don't know if you guys remember, I think it was in, I don't remember, but I think it was in Soul Ties, around the time when Corbin and Melanie had got coupled up, and Kenzie was like, oh yeah, I just don't like the lying stuff. And then Corbin was like, when have I lied to you? And then Kenzie was like, well, you haven't. I'm just like, then what are you talking about? Like, why are you trying to say, oh, I don't like the lying, to that and the third? Nobody lied to you. You just can't, like, you do something, and then when someone does the same thing as you don't like it, and I don't like that. And yeah, I said, everyone has been very upfront with her, and she's always trying to play a victim, and in reality, nobody did anything to you. It's okay for your feelings to be hurt, but stop trying to act like somebody did something, because ain't nobody did nothing. Okay, girl? Okay. Alright. Okay, now the pie challenge. So in the pie challenge, Jen, I forgot the question, but Jen had pied Sincere, because we all know that Sincere was stringing along both Melanie and Soul. And Sincere just started spewing a whole bunch of bullshit, acting like he hasn't been stringing both of the women along, which I think was very annoying, because it's like, it's literally all over television. Stop lying, like, literally. Okay. And I also mentioned, so these are the only things I had said for oh, this is the rest. Okay, sorry. Okay, during the pie challenge, I do feel bad for Soul, because I feel like none of them even know her well enough to pick her for some of the things that they were picking her for. And I also think that a lot of the times they pied her, they could have pied Melanie. Just a thought, fruit for thought. Don't get me wrong, I love Melanie, but they could have pied Melanie. Okay. So I didn't write anything down for episode 11, but moving on to episode 12. I don't want to sound like a broken record, so I'm reading it, like skimming it, to make sure I don't repeat anything. I'll say this one again though, and this is the only thing for episode 12 as well. I'm absolutely tired of Kenzie, and I knew I was right from the beginning not to really like her. I personally feel like she has this weird complex where she feels like she's not allowed to be rejected. She wants to be the one to reject, and she doesn't like when boys go back and forth with her, but it's no problem when she goes back and forth with them. She's saying that Caleb is her type, but then she keeps messing around with Corbin. I personally just think that she doesn't know what she wants, and she's saying that she doesn't like drama and everything, but she is the drama. She's very messy. feel like she's not acknowledging that. That's the only thing I said for episode 12, or the only thing I'm gonna read. Okay, episode 14. Okay. So in the recoupling, Kenzie and Corbin ended up together. Anaya and Casey are still together. Melanie and Sincere ended up together. And I really hate that, because the amount of times that Sincere has lied to Melanie, and not only that, but him playing in Soul's phase, I feel like Sincere is just disrespecting everyone all across the board, and I'm not a fan. Okay, another Kenzie rants. I just mentioned how I think that Kenzie likes the idea of being the it girl, and she likes the idea of having options and allowing everyone to choose her. But I think it's weird again, because when Zach didn't want Kenzie, Kenzie made it the biggest issue in the world. But when she rejects someone, she expects everything to be fine, and I don't like that. She definitely has a very big double standard, and I don't know, I think she just needs to grow up. She needs to experience life a little bit more, because nobody has humbled her yet, and they need to. Okay. So, for context, just in case you weren't following along, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm not good with that. So, the recoupling happened. It was the mailbox challenge, the love letter challenge. Obviously, Melanie and Sincere are back together. Soul feels played right now. She feels stupid, and I completely understand, and I feel really bad for her. So, Sincere decided to pull Soul for a chat, and I was saying that Sincere is trying to manipulate Soul right now, and it's absolutely insane. I love the way that Soul is reading him, though, because Sincere, you are sincerely full of shit. Okay, you're not honest, you're not genuine, and all he does is lie. So I'm happy that Soul was talking to him the way that he deserved to be talked to, because, and I cannot wait to see like the aftermath of all of this, because someone needs to check Sincere for real. Okay, the things that he says and the things that he lies about is absolutely insane. Okay, so at the end of the episode, the boys and girls had to pick one girl and one boy that they wanted to dump off the island. So the girls picked Gabe, which I'm not gonna lie, in the beginning I was like, yeah, pick Gabe. But their reasoning for it, I'm not gonna lie, I hate to side with men, but I have to be honest, their reasoning for picking Gabe didn't make any sense. I understand it, but it didn't make any sense, and I think that's why the boys were so mad, because genuinely the boys, okay, first the boys picked Soul, which I understand why they picked Soul. I also, okay, and I was saying that I have a little bit of bias, because I don't like Kenzie, so if they picked Kenzie, I would have been happy, okay, but the reason why they picked Soul was because Soul is the only one out of the two girls that didn't have a connection. As you know, Jen had a connection with Gabe, and Kenzie had a connection with Corbin. Soul was the only one who did not have a connection, which makes sense to kick her out. The only thing about it is that I feel like Soul, she wasn't there for very long, and she wasn't given the complete opportunity to really explore and look into more connections. So with that being said, I just feel like she deserves more time, but I also understand why they picked her. The girls picked Gabe because they felt like Gabe was hopping from girl to girl to girl to girl. They feel like Gabe is very lustful, and honestly, I mean, they're not wrong, but I don't think that's a reason to kick somebody off the island. I feel like it's Love Island. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to find, a really good connection. And just because the girls, they kind of found their guy and kind of stuck to him, doesn't mean that everyone's the same way. Sometimes you gotta taste a couple of cakes before you pick the one that you're gonna buy. And I think that's what Gabe was doing. If it was me, see, here's the thing. My reasoning for Soul is the same for Caleb. I wouldn't want to get rid of Caleb because I feel like Caleb didn't get the video. I heard from my friends that there was a movie night episode, and I'm trying so hard to get to that because I need to see it. I just need to, okay? So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and this little face reveal. I am going to, I guess, start posting content with my sorry guys, it's so close to 4th of July. They're just blowing up fireworks everywhere. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and yeah, I will be posting more content with my face in it now.